Hey guys, Psyche Pictures here, and welcome back to more Sakura Angels. So, let's continue on with this visual novel. Somehow, I just about barely made it to class. It was a photo finished through the door right as the bell rang, but I made it. Taking a moment to catch my breath, I dragged myself over to my desk. The teacher arriving almost seconds after I collapsed into the chair. Too close. None of the other students seemed to be bothered by my late entrance. Though at this point, maybe this is what they expect of me anyway? I have been pretty late at times, even missing the bell entirely some days. Mostly due to sleeping in. At least this time I had an actual reason for cutting it so close. However, after what happened earlier, I think it's going to be impossible for me to focus on the lesson. I'm beginning to wonder if I'll ever get an explanation for whatever the heck that was to just happen. Possibly tall creatures, girls wielding magic weapons. No matter how I look at it, my brain refuses to accept it as reality. It goes against everything I know. I scrubbed through my hair, a faint headache still ringing in the back of my head. Being lucky enough to have a seat situated by the window, like all anime protagonists, I let my gaze wander out, my eyes vacant as I stare into the clear blue sky. The teacher is doing his usual morning speech, no doubt talking about the upcoming events for our school. But his words are just a dull mumble in my ears. My mind is miles away. Those girls knew me by name. And no matter how far I delve back through my memories, it's clear I've never seen them in my life. At least, I don't think I've seen them before. I think hard. Maybe too hard to the point my eyes begin to strain. Nope. Nothing. I can't recall a single thing that might shed light on this. Defeated for now, I tune back into class while still keeping my sights set on the sky, the teacher's voice becoming clear once more.
Now, I know it's a bit sudden, but as of today, we have 2 transfer students that will be joining our class.
And I think I know exactly who those 2 are.
Transfer students?
At this time of year? It's a bit late to be joining, don't you think? Even the teacher sounds confused as he announces them. And not just 1, but 2? Why do I get the feeling there's something off about this? Almost as if it's tied to what happened earlier. Ha! No, it couldn't be.
I'd like you all to make them feel welcome as they transition in. What did you say your names were?
Sakura desu. Hajimemashite. Nakayoku shite ne.
I bolt upright in my seat, my head snapping towards the front of the classroom. That upbeat voice. Is it really? Yep, sure enough. The 2 girls I never thought I'd see again are stood before me. In my school. In my classroom, no less, wearing the school's official uniform. The cheerful one, Sayaka, bows politely to the class, flashing me a grin in her eyes as her eyes pass over me. What? What is this? The other girl is less courteous. Her arms crossed and her brow furrowed. She doesn't look pleased to be here at all. Her gaze passes over me too, but rather than a smile, she gives me a nasty glare. Is she blaming me for this? It sure feels like it. Sakura gives her a playful push and she stumbles to the center of the classroom, everyone's eyes on her. She looks like she's at a loss for words, her mouth opening and closing as her face gradually grows red. I guess she doesn't cope well under the spotlight. She trails off into a murmur before spinning on her heel and storming her way back to Sayaka, practically hiding behind her. Hikari simmers with silent rage, her hands balled up into tight fists, practically shaking. I'm sure if she wasn't in a classroom full of people, things might have gotten violent. With their introductions over, the teacher motions for them to take their seats. Wait a second. I only just realized where the only spare seats of the classroom are. One of them is right behind me, with a window view too, and the other is to my right. So that means they're both sitting beside me? Actually, this is pretty convenient. I can finally ask them just what the heck they think they're doing. Sayaka, with a spring in her step, waltzes towards the desk behind me. Hikari stomps her way over and takes the other desk. I lean out from my desk to try to catch their attention, but I'm cut short by the teacher, who resumes whatever it was he was talking about before. Damn it. I don't want to get in trouble for talking during class. I'll have to wait until the break. That's 2 lessons away though, which is practically an eternity. I swing back around to the front of my desk. I can't do anything right now, so I'll just pay attention to the teacher and... Ugh, no! How can I pay attention to anything when 2 magical girls are sitting near me? I want answers now. Drumming my fingers against the desk as the teacher continues to drone on, I try to think of a way around this. It's better I don't speak during class, so... Of course, it's so obvious. I dig into my school bag and pull out my notebook and pencil. I'll just pass them a note. Simple and silent. It's a bit of an immature means of communicating, I'll admit, but I'm desperate here. I scribbled down my message. What are you guys doing here? I may as well get straight to the point. I tear the page out, almost ripping it in half in the process. Only one question is left. Who do I give this note to? Sayaka. While it's going to be harder to pass the note to someone directly behind me without looking too suspicious, I get the feeling Sayaka might actually want to respond. Kicking back in my chair, I lean backwards and slip the note onto her desk whilst keeping my eyes forward, as if I were a good student who was actually paying attention to the lesson at hand. At least, I think I managed to give her the note. After a minute or two of twiddling my thumbs, I begin to lose faith in my plan. Maybe something suddenly taps my shoulder. The same page I tore out from my pad before floating down my desk. Success! Written below with my own hastily scrawled, just barely legible message is one in far neater handwriting and accompanied by a smiley face. We're here to protect you, silly. Protect me? Right. I remember her saying something about them being my guardian angels, and that they'd be keeping a closer eye on me. But this is ridiculous. I scribbled down my reply, writing so fast I have to cross out a word several times before I finally get it right. Okay, I get that part, but do you really need to be this close? How did you guys even manage to get enrolled? Did you forget how close you were to being chomped on this morning? We're not gonna let that happen again. And as for how we got in, well, let's just say we can be very persuasive. Who actually writes whatever. At least she gave me an answer. Somewhat. Now that I think about it, the teacher did look a little confused as he introduced them. I'm guessing they wormed their way in here with with whatever magic powers they have. That's a bit scary, actually. Magic. I use the word so casually. Am I just accepting its existence now? I guess given the evidence, it's a bit hard not to, but I'm still going to remain skeptical. First lesson of the day goes on at an agonizingly slow pace. I can't focus on a thing, no matter how hard I try. After what seemed like an eternity, the bell finally rings, announcing the end of the lesson. There's still another lesson to go before break time, though, which makes it impossible to talk to these girls, especially since the next lesson is PE, where the boys and girls are separated. Ugh, why is my life so complicated? After reluctantly getting changed for PE, I'm soon in the schoolyard with the male half of our class. Much like the first lesson, I find it hard to pay attention to the PE teacher as he goes through our basic warm-up exercises. I follow the exercises, just about, with as much enthusiasm as a zombie. The rest of the lesson is sort of a blur, at least until some of the male students start to look towards the track field where the girls are. They stare in amazement, some even rubbing at their eyes as if it couldn't be real. What's so amazing? What are you guys all looking at? I muscle into the crowd that's formed, so I can actually get a look at the field. No way. The girls are running on the track, which isn't an amazing thing in itself, but it's who's running on the track that makes it an unreal sight. Sayaka is blazing across the track, practically a blur as she leaves the others in the dust. She's literally running circles around them. She doesn't look tired or exhausted at all either, save for the beads of sweat creeping up. In fact, she has a big smile on her face, clearly enjoying it all. As if it weren't obvious before, these girls are on a completely different level. I'm sure she's breaking several kinds of records right here. The other girls in the group helplessly trail behind her, their expressions ranging from sheer confusion to envy. Some of those girls are, well, I guess weird now. At the top of their I guess some of those girls are, well, I guess were now the top of their class when it comes to track 2. But she's making them all look like snails in comparison. I can't imagine how they must feel being showed up by someone who hasn't even been here a day. I can hardly keep my eyes on her. She seems to get just a little faster with each loop she makes around the track. It won't be long now before she becomes just one big blur encircling the place. Is she even human? I'm seriously beginning to doubt it here with this superhuman display. I think even the top athletes in this country couldn't compare to her. While Sayaka is hogging the spotlight here, there's someone missing in all of this. Her far grumpier counterpart, Hikari. If anything, shouldn't she be neck and neck with Sayaka? I scan the ones trailing behind, but I can't find her either. Just where? Oh! Behind even the other girls being left in Sayaka's dust, I see someone dragging their feet, a sour expression on their face. She's just walking, her arms folded like usual. I wonder if her arms are glued like that. She isn't even trying. She must really have not wanted to enroll here. It must have been Sayaka's idea entirely. What are you all staring at? Come on, let's get back to it. Apparently all forgetting we had our own lesson at hand, the teacher calls us back to reality, forcing us all to reluctantly stop gawking at the girls. The rest of the PE lesson goes by without anything much of note happening. And then finally, the lunch break arrives. I spot the magic girls in the classroom, casually chatting away with some of the other students. Huh? I didn't think they'd be able to make friends already. Though, after Sayaka's little display earlier, she's probably the talk of the class. She gives me a wave and a cheery smile, but I can hardly say I do the same. Okay, yeah, hi. Look, can we talk? No, not here, I mean. Can we talk somewhere private? Crap. That might have come out weird. I'm getting weird looks from everyone in the class, a few of them breaking into whispers and giggles. Even Sayaka is feigning surprise, despite full well knowing what I mean. Come on, stop messing around. I've been dying to talk to you, both of you, since this morning. Oh, God. I made it worse, didn't I? I've somehow turned this into looking like one of the most awkward confessions ever. Oh my gosh, Sayaka, you're not making it any better. Oh God. She giggles, going along with the continued painful stares from the class. Well, if she's going to be like this, I have no choice. This is going to make me look even worse in front of the class, but I need answers. I take a deep breath and to steel myself. And then... I grab her by the wrist, pulling her along towards the classroom door, whether she likes it or not. Given what I witnessed before, I'm sure she could have me flat on the floor if she was truly opposed to this. I think she's messing around at this point, though. And you too, come with me. With my free hand, I take a hold of Hikari's wrist, or Hikari, or... I'm probably going to be saying Hikari for the most of it. No doubt cementing myself as some sort of deviant within the class. Thankfully, they both follow along without too much resistance. Ignoring the brunt of Hikari's verbal abuse, I continue onto the doorway. I just have to find somewhere quiet where no one will hear us discuss this magic and monster business. The question is, oof! In all my haste to escape the classroom, with both the girls in tow, I crash into someone who was already making their way toward the door. They stumble backwards, looking slightly dazed. Thankfully, they don't look hurt. Are you okay? Sorry about that. I offer her an apologetic smile. Who is she again? She must be from my class. I don't recall her name at all, though.
Heiki.
She speaks in a cold tone, her equally cold eyes locked onto my own in an intense stare that completely betrays her words. Yikes. I guess she has a reason to be annoyed given my clumsiness, but this is a look of pure hate. Okay then. Confirming she's okay, I continue on with Hikari and Sayaka. They're protesting, mostly from Hikari's side, increasing in volume. I can't even begin to imagine what this might look like for the people passing by. I'm sure even as I head for the stairs, that girl is still staring at me. Did I do something to annoy her? I mean, besides the clumsiness from today, of course. I can't worry about her for now. I've got bigger problems to worry about. Namely, 2 big problems, one in each hand of mine. And this is where we will be ending off for now. So, let's go to save. Alright. Wow! That's a huge distance away. I started recording this in February and haven't even gotten to the second episode until May. Jeez. save the progress. Alright, so with that, this has been Psychic Pictures, and I'll see you guys next time for more Sakura Angels.